Well, now take down your fishing pole and meet me at the fishing hole. We may not get a bite all day, but don't you rush away. What a great place to rest your bones, and mighty fine for skipping stones. You feel fresh as a lemonade, setting in the shade.
All right, the old fishing hole. Yeah. 1-800-572-8255. Tryon, North Carolina, and Bob on the air. Good morning, Bob.
Well, Happy New Year to you, sir.
And to you, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
I've got a couple, three things I'd like to mention.
Okay.
The lady next door to us doesn't take the Sunday paper, and so I read it and put it back together again and give it to her. And I all of a sudden last Sunday remembered that back in the old days, they used to put the comic sections on the outside of the paper. Remember that? You always had the color comics on the Sunday paper on the outside.
No, I don't remember that.
I swear that.
I believe you. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I really believe that's true. And because I put it on the outside. In fact, it's the proper way to approach the newspaper anyway.
I think you're probably right with that.
Number two, I had two cousins. I was about 5, and one was 6, and one was 7, I believe.
Uh-huh.
And we'd go over to their house, and they would speak pig Latin. And my God, you talking about being mad and upset? You know, they between playing jacks, they would do pig Latin.
Drive you nuts.
Yeah, because I never understood. Of course, I was 5 years old. I think never understood it in my life.
Yeah,
you talking about frustrating? That is frustrating, my friend. It really is.
It led to some fist fights, I bet.
Almost. And the third one, I remember back in World War II, caps were very hard to come by. I mean, pistol caps. Okay, the paper. And we had paper cap guns. Remember that? Where you'd roll of paper?
Yeah, sure, yeah. I
remember, and then it would shoot a hole through that paper, a little circle hole.
Right.
And make almost as much noise as the cap pistol did.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I remember.
And but those are three little things that I had taught him today, and very interesting show that you've got. But I just thought I'd put in those three.
Isn't it funny how they stick in your memory all these years?
Oh, man. I still don't think I'd ever get the whole of pig Latin.
No, me either. I had trouble with that.
Girls picked it up faster than we did, I think.
Yeah.
Or either that or they just did it to aggravate boys. I don't know, one of the two.
There's another possibility they were smarter than we were.
Now, that's a very good possibility.
You take care of yourself.
Hey, have a good New Year.
Talk to you soon, buddy. Bye-bye. Let's talk to my buddy, Mike, on the air. Hello, Mike.
Good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning, big boy. How you doing?
Doing just fine.
Good.
You had a great show. I'm enjoying listening to you, and I dusted off some brain cells to try to get total recall here when I was a child.
I bet you did, too.
And nothing but fun memories come into mind, and rubber guns and pop guns with China berries, and playing with a sock ball, paddle, and for many hours, matter of fact. I guess I was honing my skills for the Little League back in those days.
Sure you were.
But we had water guns and BB guns and marbles. I don't know if anybody's mentioned any marbles, but we used to play marbles for hours on end.
Oh, that was the game of choice in most neighborhoods, yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it was a great show, and just everybody, I'm glad to have a lot of fond memories of growing up. I went to the movies every Saturday with my dad when I was a little small child, and Saturday westerns and serials every Saturday in Augusta, Georgia.
Great memories.
I'm telling you.
Great memories.
But just had a good time as a kid growing up. I was very fortunate. We didn't have any money, but we had a lot of good fun.
Yeah, but nobody else had any money.
Nobody else did either.
And you didn't know the difference.
Yep. I remember collecting baseball cards and putting them on the spokes of your bicycles.
Oh, boy, yeah.
Well, it'd make a clicking noise
Sound like
up the street.
Sound like a motorbike.
Right. And I didn't know those cards would be worth a lot of money. But anyway.
Listen, you're going to have something for me in your mailbox today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think I got something yesterday.
Well, it may have.
And God, it looks like a wonderful trip.
You got that brochure? Yeah, good.
I was looking at it. I'm contemplating on retiring about that time of the year, and I don't know whether it would interfere with me doing that. That looks like an unbelievable trip.
That's the word.
And I told my wife, I said, man, what a trip of a lifetime.
Listen, if you were along, you'd make my trip a lot better.
Well, I'd certainly appreciate that, and I know I would enjoy your company and all of your fun seekers' company, too. That would be a wonderful trip. And I'm going to try to work something out. But,
All right, I understand. Time is your enemy sometimes.
I know that, but it looks like a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
But wanted to shift gears 1 second and congratulate Bobby Bowden last night. That ball game was at a new level of college football.
That was a.
Man.
See, I had a double blessing last night. Is that big FSU band would play the fight song?
Right.
Nancy would sing along with it. Nancy is a graduate of FSU, and she knows all the words to that stinking fight song.
Well,
and I got to hear them all night long.
That's fantastic.
Oh, we had a big time. We did the cold cuts and sandwiches, etc. with the dip. It was just a wonderful night.
Well, I tell you, Peter Warwick is in some kind of league by himself, and so is this guy Vic, this quarterback for Virginia Tech, was awesome.
Yeah, he may be the first guy to win 4 Heismans. I don't know.
He may be if he stays all 4 years, but Bobby is just unbelievable. I'm so proud of Bobby Bowden, 70 years old, and why should he retire? They said that on ESPN last night. He said, why should the man retire?
Number one. He beat everybody he played, and you can't do any better than that.
Yeah, I played baseball against Florida State. I played at Georgia Southern a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But we used to have some battles with Florida State. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that in. Congratulations to the Seminoles.
All right, buddy. You take care of yourself.
Okay, have a good day, and thank you.
Glad you called.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, it was such an explosive football game. I mean, you'd rock along there a little while, and then somebody'd go 60 yards. You were afraid to leave the television because it was such an explosive football game, and I think that's what makes FSU so devastating to play against, because they just never quit. Something is going to happen any minute from them, and they played a very good football team. Very good football team. I hope you stayed up and saw that. It was one for the books. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. That's a toll-free call from no matter where you are listening, and we'll have you on the air pretty quick. And we're talking about, do you remember when? And everybody had different memories, but they all got a sameness about them. You remember how you never remember the bad weather? Your memories of your childhood is always a perpetual kind of 70-degree weather? Yeah. 1-800-572-8255. You're listening to the More Than Wonderful Fun Seekers Radio Network. Our Fun Seekers Ludlow Porch with a dessert tip for you. Banana split ice cream from the wonderful...
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon in any town across this land. There's a kid in a room watching a screen, the universe at hand. He's got a high-speed modem, a computer with a CD-ROM. If his granddaddy could see him now, he'd wonder what planet he's from. He's a child of the video age, a mirror image of the latest craze. Don't know nothing about the good old days. He's a child.
All right, 1-800-572-8255. Let's talk to my friend, the Plowboy in Noonan, Georgia. Hello, Plowboy.
Good morning, Ludlow.
How you, old friend?
Doing good this morning.
Good.
Boy, a subject most of us could talk about 3 months on. In between milking cows and plowing in the fields, playing marbles with the black boys on the old farm growing up. Playing marbles, and we would get on our knees and wear holes in the knee of the overalls.
Yeah.
Mother would just take one old pair of overalls and patch up the holes in the ones we were wearing. Patch up the holes in the seats of wherever the holes would appear. But boy, we'd love to play those marbles, and that was really a fun game.
Yeah, and there was some kids that were so good at that. I mean, just almost a God-given talent to take all your marbles away from you.
Oh, we got good at it. We try to hold the marbles different ways in our hands, to try to get better with it.
Oh, yeah, you practice.
Oh, if you lost too many marbles, it was heartache.
Oh, yeah, because you always lost your favorites.
Yeah, we had them all sizes, and draw those lines out there, and, boy, we had a great time. Now, my first driving experience in the backyard of the old home place there, going to try my backing experience. So didn't look over my left shoulder, so backed up and wham right into the pear tree.
Ooh.
Knocked the whole crop of pears off. when my head cleared a little bit and got out and surveyed, I had just knocked the tree over at a 45-degree angle.
Well, you hit it a shot, didn't you?
I hit it real good. But you know, the bumpers on those old cars then were so doggone strong that it didn't even put a dent in them.
Yeah, if that happened today, you'd do $3,000 worth of damage at least.
At least, and it probably just knocked the bumper on into the car.
Yeah.
But didn't even put a scratch on it. And anyway, when folk would look at that pear tree, it was amazing. It survived, and every year that thing had a crop of pears on it, and you could just stand on the ground and pick pears from the top of the tree. It was like, boy, look what I did. I am really proud of this.
Throw that ladder away.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
But I guess, you know, the greatest day of my life in growing up was the day the electricity came on.
Yeah.
And didn't have to bring pails of water 500 feet up the hill. Our well was right down next to the road, and it was downhill. And you'd carry a 5-gallon pail of water if you could carry it. Of course, couldn't carry that much, but we'd have a gallon or 2-gallon pails in each hand.
Right.
And just many, many trips every day up and down that hill. But boy, the day that electricity came on, I tell you, we were dancing all over that place. Turned the water on, able to take a bath, and we still kept our well, still draw a pail of water every once in a while.
You know, that's a neat thing. You still had the pails, and still had the memories from it. You know, that book I told the other guy about, it's called The Years the Lights Came On, by Terry Kay. Get that. You'll really love it, because that's just full of, it's a novel, but it's full of those kind of stories. It's written from some young folks' point of view, and it's just, you'll really love it, I promise.
I heard you talking about that, and I definitely want to read that book.
Yeah.
Those would be the kind of experiences that a lot of us growing up when I did.
Yeah.
Kids nowadays could not possibly realize how exciting, what a great thing it was. Today would be such simple things, but then they were the biggest things that could happen in our lives.
They're taken for granted now, yeah.
Yeah, but these are experiences that we remember, and it's nice to hear about them, and it's great to hear about other people talking about them.
You take care of yourself. Good to hear from you always, old friend.
Thank you.
Hang in there.
All right.
1-800-572-8255 is, J&R Clothing, gang. Listen, clothing for the entire family at special discount prices off the name brand clothes every day. J&R Clothing. Now we're going to talk to Dynamite on the radio. Hello, Dynamite.
Well, good morning, Ludlow.
Good morning to you.
Well, I was sitting here thinking about stuff that I did when I grew up, and I was fortunate to grow up in the 50s. I think that was about the best time you could, because all this stuff that you see on TV, the kids don't believe we did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like right around the, let's see, what was it, Happy Days, where they showed the people riding around in the cars and
going to the drive-in.
Yeah, at the drive-in.
Yeah.
Well, we did that.
Yeah.
We really did that.
Yeah.
I lived it. But one of the things as a kid, though, when I was, I guess, about 10, something like that, I've always wanted to be on the radio and the TV.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know why, because I don't get that honest. But anyway, I would go and get a gooseneck lamp and turn that thing on me, and that was I was on TV. I had my own TV show.
That was the lighting.
Yeah, I mean, that was it. That was the camera and, the whole thing.
Uh-huh.
And I loved it. And I had an imagination. That's something else the kids hadn't got today. I mean, they got to have the real thing. In fact, they do have the real thing.
Yeah.
And Charlie's grandson, he just gets bored to tears. And I thought, my goodness, if you grew up when we did, when you had to pretend, I mean, he gets so bored, and he's got everything under the sun to play with, but he gets bored.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he got an active mind, an active imagination, and but they're not forced to put that imagination to use
No,
now,
I know it.
because they got the computer and the television, and you're waiting to push one button and be entertained.
Well, the thing that stands out in my mind was the first color television I saw.
Yeah.
I thought that was wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
the first TV I saw was, I think, about 1951. We had some neighbors that moved from North Carolina and had one. And, well, we just thought that was the greatest thing in the world. And then when we finally, I grew up in Augusta. I'd like to know who that man was it called earlier. He said he grew up in Augusta. Might be somebody I know.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But
you know,
but
television was so new that we actually thought Milton Berle was funny.
The thing, though, that I was going to tell you that really stood out in my mind was my sister got the first color TV in our family. And it just amazed me how you could sit there and watch something in black and white, and all of a sudden this peacock comes up with all these beautiful color feathers, and it's in living color.
Yeah.
I love that. They're such sweet memories.
Great memories, yeah, and memories of what they are, because you never forget them. I got to get out of here. I'm running late, my love.
Talk with you later.
You take care. I'll
All
talk
right.
to you soon. Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255. Gang, I want to invite you to sail away to Scandinavia with the Fun Seekers and the Wackos. Get on board. We're going to do it again. Another Fun Seekers Network worldwide adventure. First thing we're going to do, this is June 20th, we're going to fly nonstop from Atlanta to London. And after a panoramic tour of that great city, we head for Dover, where we board the beautiful 4-star Norwegian Dream and set sail for the Scandinavian capitals and for St. Petersburg, Russia. Think about it, gang. St. Petersburg, Russia, Stockholm, Sweden, Copenhagen, Denmark, Oslo, Norway, Helsinki, Finland. Just a short little preview of what we're going to be doing. We're going to be cruising the North Sea, cruising the Baltic Sea, and just having the time of our life. And we want you to go along with us. Now, you can use your American Express, Visa, MasterCard. We'll accept all of these, and we want you there. It's going to be the trip of a lifetime. So come on and get involved. First thing you need to do is get all the details so you'll know if this is something you want to do. Here's how you get started. You call my Nancy toll free at 1-888-256-3044. 1-888-256-3044. She'll answer all the questions you have and arrange to send you a brochure out to your house so you can look it over and see what we're going to be up to. The trip of a lifetime. All of the Scandinavian capitals plus St. Petersburg, Russia on a 4-star cruise ship, the Norwegian Dream. Won't you come along? 1-888-256-3044. You call that number right now.
This is Profile America for Wednesday, January 5th. On this day in 1914, Henry Ford startled the business world by announcing a minimum wage of $5 a day for his workers. To qualify, workers had to have what were described as good personal habits. The idea eventually gained wide acceptance, and in 1938, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed into law a federally mandated minimum wage of 25 cents an hour. Today, 71 million U.S. workers are paid by the hour. They earn an average of $8.84 per hour. Of these, 2 million receive the minimum hourly wage of $5.15. But more than 4 million still are paid below that minimum. Profile America is brought to you as a public service by the U.S. Census Bureau, now counting down to Census 2000.
All right, little happy days there. We go to Rome, Georgia, and talk to Wild Bill Jim on the air. Hello, cousin.
I'm really on the air.
You're really all over the air. You heard the whoosh, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. Once you get whooshed, you're on the air.
And I got my volume turned down.
Good.
You know, I'm told that when I was just post-toddler, that when I heard an aircraft engine, I used to jump out of my bath and run outdoors in the altogether. But you know, that didn't keep me out of the Army.
Well, you did the best you could.
Well, one advantage or disadvantage, really, in many ways, of getting past 70 is I can't remember a name that I heard 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
But I can remember every mean, disgusting, embarrassing thing that I ever done.
Yeah. That's called a conscience, Jim. That's called the old conscience.
But you know, I wasn't as bad as most of the people that I ran around with.
Oh, you were the good influence.
That's right. I stayed in the house and built model airplanes. I didn't know smelling that glue was supposed to be that much pleasure. But
I used to give you a headache, didn't it?
Yeah. But I outlived most of them.
Uh-huh.
Including the one that used to say, God, you might not believe this.
Yeah. Oh, that he was, and you didn't.
Yeah. Now, getting the whippings, from the principal.
Yeah.
Guy come back in the classroom one time, I think it was about the 4th or 5th grade. He come back in, his eyes is all red from crying, getting a whipping and everything. And he says, he broke my truss.
Hit him a real shot, didn't he?
Yeah, and I didn't know what a truss was. And I thought, well, I don't know what that is, but it's got to be pretty bad to get it broke.
That is funny.
So anytime I got a licking after that, I don't break my truss.
That is funny. Don't hit me that hard.
Yeah, and I had uncouth friends, too.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did.
I told you about the guy. We'd go to these early movies. They used to show movies in the daytime,
Yeah.
And he, Sherman, rest his soul, would get his Coke drink, or whatever. And some guy that looked like he wasn't big enough to whip you sitting in front.
Uh-huh.
Old Sherman would dip his fingers in the Coke, and he would go, and flip that water in the back of the guy's head.
Sherman needed killing.
Yeah, and I would move, at least 3 or 4 seats away.
Oh, you had to.
Yeah. And, I am remembered now for my famous coronet caper.
Tell us quickly about the coronet caper.
Okay, I was sitting right at the table where this teacher was explaining things about music. He wasn't supposed to be teaching that, but he was. And he had this trumpet, and he'd pick it up and figure the valves, and he'd have an afterthought, and he'd put it down. And every time he put it down, it got some paper stuffed into it.
Uh-huh.
And just kept up for quite a while. When he finally decided to blow a note out of that thing, it just went, eep. Oh, well, I just about got my truss broke over that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That is funny. Broke his truss.
Yeah, broke my... Does that anything have to do with this antitrust laws?
No, I think it had something to do with a hernia. I think is what he was talking about.
Well, I wish we could make this a continued series, but I see by the old clock on the wall that it's time I got off from here.
It is as they say, my work is done here.
Okay.
And as soon as you hang up, I will ask Denny, who was that masked man?
Yeah.
Denny will say, I thought you knew him.
One more thing.
All right.
Don't get caught in the rain in your baggy tweeds.
Okay. Words to live by.
Goodbye now.
Take care. Bye-bye. Don't get caught in the rain in your baggy tweeds. Words to live by. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. Do you remember when? That's what we're talking about, when your life revolved around a tire swing. How long since you've even seen a tire swing? I got to tell you a great tire swing story. My wife and I were riding down the street one time in Gainesville, Georgia, and we passed a house that had a tire swing in the front yard, and the wheel was still in the tire. A real dumb daddy. True story. True. Daddy, are you sure that's right? Of course it's right. Of course it's right. I got all air pressure in there. It's ready. True story. We're going to take care of some business. If you're on hold, just hang on, because we got some more coming along. Stay with us.
20 years later, I'll be rubbing shoulders with the stars. Life is just a tire swing. In the early morning on some Illinois road, I fell asleep at the wheel, but was quickly wakened up by a mall bell telephone pole. And a bunch of Grantwood faces screaming, is he still alive? Through the window I could see it hanging from a tree, and I knew that I had survived, and life is still a tire swing. Jambalaya is the best song I can sing. Black parrot picking, eating fried chicken, but I finally learned a lot about pain. Life is just a tire swing.
And now, here's Ludlow Porch.
Well, good morning, fun seekers. We're glad you are with us. We're doing a little bit of Do You Remember When? Kind of a stroll down memory lane and talking about some childhood stuff, all the childhood stuff. Let's get right back to the phones. Got some folks been on hold a while. Go to Asheville, North Carolina, and talk to Charlie in the cold weather in Asheville. Good morning.
Yes, indeed, Ludlow. It is cold.
A little nippy up there.
Yeah, a little nippy. We got just a trace of snow.
All right.
And, of course, the county next door, they had a pretty good fall. Schools are out.
Oh, really? That much, eh?
Yeah, over in Haywood County.
All
That's
right.
the adjoining county.
Mm-hmm.
The old fun days as a youngster. Marbles.
Marbles.
Now, a lot of people have called in this morning about marbles, but they didn't get technical about it. I mean, we used to get real technical. We had, like, the bullseye.
Yeah.
You had to pitch to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the circle. Everybody knows about the circle. And then, of course, before you started playing marbles, or shooting marbles, we called it, you had to establish whether or not we're playing for keeps or are we playing for fun.
Yeah.
So there's keepers and fun.
Yeah.
Good old days. But you don't never hear of a kid anywhere playing marbles nowadays.
No, they all got $2,000 computers at their house, eh?
Not even Chinese checkers. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. I'll tell you another great friend of ours.
All right.
The inner tube was our friend.
Oh, wonderful. It was.
Now, there's a definite distinction between the red inner tube and the black inner tube.
Absolutely.
We had to go to the service station and beg for them if you got one.
Yeah.
And we would use, of course, inner tubes for our slingshots.
Oh, and rubber guns, everything.
Yeah, rubber guns with the clothespin. I mean, that was a must.
I'll never forget.
We used the black on that.
Yeah. I'll never forget the summer I cornered the market on red inner tubes. I went to the Texaco service station that Mr. Strickland owned, and he agreed to save me all his red inner tubes, not giving anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about having the market covered. I thought I was something.
Well, if you got the red inner tube market covered, you had the slingshot business, and you had a lot of the floating the Biltmore, the Swannoa River in Biltmore. That was another thing for our inner tubes that we begged. Of course, we had to patch them.
Oh, yeah.
To keep us some air.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to that marbles. That's a great game. And we had some guys that could really, really, really clean house with marbles, like running the table in pools.
Oh, you had hustlers. Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah. Get to school early.
Yeah.
Way like an hour early so they could draw that circle.
That's exactly right, and was ready.
I still got a quart jar of my marbles. And Daddy called me one day and said, "Come over here, I got something for you."
What a treasure.
And he had saved my marbles, and I remember very distinctly I had a favorite agate.
Uh-huh.
You used that agate to clean house with.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you had the old big one, the cow. That was used in the bullseye.
Yeah, great big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Bloody great program.
All right, buddy.
Enjoyed it.
Take care of yourself. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Asheville, North Carolina got a little dusting. Before long, they're going to get more than a dusting. We all are. Going to be a snowy winter. I feel it in my bones. Plus, hadn't Primary even forecast an earthquake? Man never quits. Ludlow and Denny, you're listening to the Fun Seekers Radio Network. We'd like to have you join us. Our Fun Seekers, Ludlow.
Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Sometimes it feels like this world's gone crazy. Grandpa, take me back to yesterday.
All right, good stuff. 1-800-572-8255 as we talk to our beloved Crystal Clear. Good morning, beautiful lady. How you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Porch.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good.
Isn't it pretty out?
It's beautiful.
But it was cold this morning.
Yes, still a little chilly.
Yes. I know you'll find this hard to believe, but when I was younger, I used to be prone to slight exaggerations.
I'm shocked.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, like now, if I were to say I look like Sophia Loren, you could take it to the bank.
Yeah.
But like back then, I used to tell a few tall tales.
Uh-huh.
By the way, did anyone ever tell you you look a lot like Cary Grant?
No, never have.
Well, I don't know why. Anyway, the favorite activities of all us girls, we would sit around at recess or before school and just talk about horses.
Uh-huh.
Because all of us were horse crazy.
Yeah.
And somehow or another, it just came out of my mouth, that I had a white horse named Marshmallow.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how it happened. It just, it was...
Before you knew it, it was out in the air, yeah.
Yeah, a beautiful white horse named Marshmallow, which happened to be the same name as Spin's horse on Spin and Marty.
Uh-huh. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it was just, I guess I must have named it after his horse or something. But anyway, I was the only one that claimed to have one, and I would just keep him spellbound, telling stories about Marshmallow.
How smart that horse was.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it was the first day of 4th grade, and we had Mrs. Peters.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm not going to say she was a big woman, but she wouldn't drown.
Uh-huh, right.
Okay, she was...
A good floater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, she was a big... And she had this perpetual frown on her face, so, we were all scared to death of her.
Uh-huh.
And we'd heard from some of her older students how mean she could be.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, and the first assignment she gave us was to tell what we did over the summer.
Ah.
And then I really got into this, and I started writing a story about me and Marshmallow going out west.
Uh-huh.
And how we rescued a wild stallion from a mean cowboy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, anyway, then Mrs. Peters had to stand up and read our stories.
Uh-huh.
Before the whole class.
Yeah.
And I read mine, and then that mean Stephen Blizzard, who lived right behind us.
Yeah, hated him, yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Anyway, he stood up and he said, Mrs. Peters, she doesn't have a horse at her house. Okay?
No.
It's like, now, I thought, now I'm dead, you know?
Over. My life has ceased to exist.
But Mrs. Peters said, well, of course she wouldn't keep a horse like that at her house. He'd have to be at a stable where there's lots of pastures.
Oh, thank God for Miss Peters.
I know. She winked at me and smiled.
Bailed you out.
I mean, and there was nothing I wouldn't do for that lady after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I raced blackboards after school, and I learned all about verbs.
Let her ride Marshmallow?
And I even, I don't know about that. But I didn't, I memorized the Gettysburg Address, and I can still say it. But anyway, did you ever do that? Just kind of pop up with something and think, where did that come from?
I think most of my lies went in the other direction. Like the dog ate my homework.
Oh.
I wasn't nearly as creative as you.
But you know what? I had to go over there and beat up Stephen Blizzard so he wouldn't come to our house and ask my brother any questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that used to always get me in trouble.
Well, an active imagination and a love of horses had to go somewhere.
I guess so. Anyway.
Whatever happened, I guess he's in prison someplace now.
Who, Stephen Blizzard?
Yeah.
I don't know. He was kind of the class genius in high school.
Well, definitely in prison.
Probably, or computer hacking.
Embezzlement or lying about a white horse.
I suspect computer hacking. He just seemed that tight.
Yeah.
So.
Great story.
Okay. Well, you have a good day.
You take care of your sweet self. I'll talk to you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, the 4th grade imagination. Ludlow and Denny. We're going to go to Cleveland, Tennessee, and talk to my friend Frank. Good morning, Brother Frank.
Good morning, Mr. Ludlow.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Doing good today.
I mean, for a kid my age,
yeah.
Let's see. I hope you're right about that snow that you were talking about a while ago.
That may be wishful thinking, but I hope we get some.
My dad used to tell me if you could get a decent snow that would lay on the ground a couple of weeks before it melted, that you would have the best crop next year that you'd ever expect.
All right.
Said that the good Lord put a chemical in that snow that nobody has ever been able to copy. And I think he's right.
Good a bit.
I think he's right. But coming back to your principal subject this morning of marbles.
Yeah.
I was the absolute worst marble shooter in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like 150. But I was the only kid in school, I think, that could lose all his marbles playing for fair.
Yeah.
I could do that. But I had a teacher in the 3rd grade. She couldn't stand marbles. And if a kid dropped a marble on the floor, she would pick it up and put it in a drawer.
Yeah.
And it would not return until the last day of school. And she let the student body, the students in her class, know that she was going to divide those marbles up among the boys that had them, before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when she opened that drawer, it looked like King Solomon's mine. You never saw such sparkling beauty in all your life as that. Well, my mother, bless her heart, and I never could stand her for this reason, she wanted to put me in these little short pants that didn't even have a pocket in it, except up here in your shirt. There was a little pocket over here on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
It looked real cute, and that's what I hated.
Uh-huh.
Well, I didn't have any place to put those marbles except in that blooming pocket. Maybe I had 12 or 15 marbles in there.
Yeah.
Well, it was about time for the bell to ring, and all the books are under your seat. And I reached over to get my books to go, and every marble in that pocket rolled out.
Oh.
She picked them up and wouldn't give them back to me. Like I say, I'm the only kid in the block that could lose all your marbles playing for fair.
That's funny. I'm glad you called, my man.
You bet. Have a good one.
You take care of yourself.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, gang, I don't know what you're looking for when you go to a clothing store, but let me tell you how to save some time.
Well, living up there in Detroit City, sometimes us little ones would get homesick for Harlan County. And old Dad Burns would put us on his knee, had a big old long knee, and he'd put us all on there, and he'd call Ma and say, "Oh, come on in here and listen to me sing this song about my girl."
I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I got the month of May.
Oh, yeah. Put all the kids up on his knee, had a real long knee. That's funny. That's funny. Let's go to Somerset, Kentucky, and talk to EP on the radio. Hello, EP.
Hello, Ludlow. How you doing?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing fine.
Good.
I remember back when I was growing up, those corncob fights, we lived in the country, and all my cousins lived in the city.
Uh-huh.
And I'd be all week building a fort up in the hayloft on one side, and they'd get the other side. I'd soak my corn cobs, but I forgot to end up, when I threw them, they had wet ones on their side.
Yeah, that's a bad move. Don't want to furnish them any ammo, do you?
No, And then on the marble thing,
Yeah.
I never could play marbles. I'd lose everything I had till I devised a way to win them. I took me a cigar box, took a quarter, and drew a circle, cut a hole in that cigar box.
Uh-huh.
And they'd have to touch the marble on their nose and drop it from there into the box.
Uh-huh.
If they got it in, they got 5 marbles.
Uh-huh.
I ended up with all the marbles.
The free enterprise system in action.
That's right, and I couldn't play worth a darn.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, Lord Lowe, it's good talking
All
to
right,
you.
buddy. Come see us.
Okay, have a good one.
Take care.
Bye now.
1-800-572-8255, Williston, South Carolina. And Maud is on the line. Hello, Maud. How you doing?
Oh, I'm fine, Ludlow. I've just enjoyed listening to all your wild tales, and I wonder, I know you must have had a guardian angel looking over y'all. You'd never survived.
You're exactly right. Exactly right.
Well, we did the girls and boys used to do some dangerous things. We used to walk in the creek all day. We had a creek near our home, and we'd go down it for miles. And why we didn't get bit by water moccasins, I'll never know.
Well, because you was making so much noise, by the time you got to where the snake was, he was gone.
I guess we scared them away. And another thing we did that was so dangerous, and we didn't realize it, there was an old sawdust pile back in the woods, and we'd get on that thing and roll down it.
Oh, listen, when you found the sawdust pile, it was like dying and going to heaven.
Yeah.
A new
it
playground.
Was wonderful. But we didn't know that you could get killed doing that. And, you know, you boys played marbles, but the girls used to play jackstones.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have the ball ones, if we had an old ball, we'd use pebbles.
Yeah.
Well, we used to play, there ain't no booger man out tonight.
Oh, I remember that.
You-
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in the 30s, there were so many lightning bugs. We could get out there and catch enough lightning bugs to put in a little box, and it would be just like a flashlight.
Oh, yeah. I remember the lightning bugs were great fun, and you'd chase them for hours.
Oh, yes, and they were just everywhere at night.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I certainly enjoyed this. I think we could do this a couple more days and still find enough.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm glad you called. You take care of yourself.
Well, thank you.
Talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye-bye. 1-800-572-8255, Canton, Georgia. And Bobby. Hello, Bobby.
Good morning.
How you, my friend?
Fine. I'm getting to be a regular.
Oh, I hope so.
Two good topics to pass up.
Good, good.
Things like marbles is thing for the boys.
Yeah.
And, of course, paper dolls was mentioned for the girls.
Uh-huh.
But we always like to play house.
Oh, yeah, dress up and house.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
And, too, the girls, the lady mentioned the lightning bugs.
Uh-huh.
We'd catch butterflies.
Oh, yeah.
Because Grandma always had a big flower bed, and they'd just fly, and we'd try to catch see who could get most.
Yeah, they're harder to catch than lightning bugs, too.
And two, we would hopscotch and jump rope.
Oh, you couldn't walk across a vacant lot anywhere without seeing a hopscotch course.
Or there'd one bend.
Yeah.
But the pogo sticks, I remember putting tin cans on the tall, long, skinny thing.
Uh-huh.
Playing that. But one thing I hadn't heard mentioned was, and it's still popular today, is horseshoes.
Horseshoes, yeah.
I remember everybody used to come to Grandma's on the weekend. They'd just be several men. And like, say, the barnyard was always clean, no grass.
Yeah.
And they would play horseshoes, only the grown-ups. And, you know, to this day, at our family reunion, we still play horseshoes.
Well, you know, you couldn't go to a dinner on the grounds where a horseshoe game didn't break out. Somebody brought horseshoes every time.
Right.
Yeah. That was a big thing, yeah.
Big thing. And I just hadn't heard that particular one mentioned.
No, it hadn't been mentioned, but you're exactly right. And it was only the grown-ups.
Right.
And they took that very, very seriously.
Oh, yeah. But we loved to stand back and watch them.
Yeah.
You know, pull for the ones we wanted to win.
Well, none of that, but some of them were very, very good at that.
Oh, yeah. But closeness always counted, too.
All right. That's right. That's right. I'm glad you called, my friend.
Okay, thanks.
You take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Taking a little trip down memory lane, gang. Do you remember when everybody played horseshoes, especially the grown-ups? We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Don't it make you wanna go home? But there's a 6-lane highway down by the creek where I went skinny dipping as a child, and a drive-in show where the meadow used to grow and the strawberries used to grow wild. There's a drag strip down by the riverside where my grandma's cow used to graze. Now the grass don't grow and the river don't flow like it did in my childhood days. Don't it make you wanna go home now? Don't it make you wanna go home? All God's children get weary when they roam. Don't it make you wanna go home? Tell me, don't it make you wanna go home? Don't it make you wanna go home? Children get weary when they roam, and God, how I wanna go home. Don't it make you wanna go
home? Clear creeks and cool mountain mornings, honest work out in the field, cornbread in my mama's kitchen, daddy's saying grace before the meal. Family ties run deep in this land.
1-800-572-8255, Dalton, Georgia, and Mickey. Hello, Mickey.
Good morning, Ludlow.
How you doing?
Oh, just fine, you?
Good, buddy.
Just listening to the show this morning and reminiscing.
Good, good.
You know, in the neighborhood I never could shoot marbles. I tried, but my thumbs just didn't work right. But, you know, there's always hustlers, like you said, and I want the gentleman to know that his cigar box with a hole in it was not an original idea.
Oh, no?
No, there was one around here, too. But, anyway, one of the memories I have back in those days is growing up in the pine trees, tall pines. Me and some more kids managed to get a ceramic enamel tub out of a Ringer type washing machine.
Yeah.
You set that sucker on a hillside covered in about 6 inches of pine needles, and you'd be doing 40 miles an hour to the hill.
Take you to ride. Take you to ride.
It would.
And you had no more control over it than anything.
That's right.
You were just a passenger.
Just hope you don't hit a tree.
Yeah.
And build those little cars, you know, the ones where you take a tube of 6 and put down the middle and,
Yeah.
and steal all the neighborhood kids' tricycle wheels and put on it.
Any kind of wheel was fair game. You could have one of those with 3 different size wheels on
And
it.
a rope steering wheel.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it's amazing. You know, nowadays, I mean, you look back at stuff like that, and I got a granddaughter now, and you can't walk into her room for the toys.
Yeah.
She don't know what to play with next, you know.
Yeah.
And that's progress, you know. The next generation's supposed to have it better than the previous generation.
Right.
And have more, and that's what keeps the economy going.
And that's what kind of keeps the fun in the family life too.
Yeah. And it keeps people just manufacturing more and more and selling more and more. And if you can dream it up nowadays, somebody will buy it.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Okay, well, you have a good day. I'm
All right,
gonna have
buddy.
some lunch.
Good to hear from you.
Thank you.
Take care, Mickey. 1-800-572-8255. Here she is, nom de plume. Hello there, young lady.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
Well, I'm unwell.
Unwell?
I can't get over it. You seem to have recuperated properly.
Yeah, it took me about 2 weeks.
Well, maybe I shall be there. My father, Professor de Plume, always called this the epizootics.
Well, you named it right.
Yeah. The lady that was talking about the lightning bugs, I remember making rings of them. I guess would end up in jail now, for doing that.
Cruelty to lightning bugs, yeah.
But they would make beautiful rings, and if you caught them, and when the light was on and put it on the little grass thing, it would stay that way. It would stay lit.
Uh-huh.
So I guess it was early electricity.
So early inventions.
Going down a hill on a cardboard box. That was the most fun, except all the neighbors that had beautiful lawns hated it, when the kids went into that mode every year. It would just ruin everybody's lawn.
If you could find you a grassy spot and a piece of cardboard, you were in business.
Right. But I'll tell you the day that I thought I had gone wild.
Tell me.
I mean, it was pretty bad. We just felt like we were ruined because my grandfather was the sheriff.
Oh, Lord.
We were on our way to the Christmas parade. There were about 8 of us that were friends that were in the band, and we were running very late. And we thumbed a National Guard Jeep down. And he stopped, and I don't know how in the world 8 of us silly, giggling girls got in that Jeep, but I just worried all the way through that parade that, we were ruined in that little town.
Hanging all over that Jeep.
Yeah, but he seemed to have enjoyed it, But probably now National Guard Jeep wouldn't, they wouldn't be allowed to pick you up in a Jeep like that.
Oh, heavens, no.
But it was a lot of fun, just everything was innocent and clean and pure, and nobody locked their doors in my hometown, but those times are gone.
I can remember on the few times we went to Florida to visit relatives or just to go to the beach, I can remember everybody had to look all over the house and see if they could find the key because they hadn't used it in a year. And they'd look in all the drawers. What do we do with that key we locked the front door with? Because we never locked it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the way it was with us. If you were going to Myrtle Beach or whatever, you had to look for the key.
Yeah.
And sometimes you didn't find it. So your grandmother, who lived next door, had to watch out after your house, which tickled her anyway, because she had a little bit of the nose problem. Or, I didn't realize it at the time, but I knew that my mother realized it, and now I look back on it, and my grandmother was a little bit, she wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah, look in your medicine cabinet every time you get a chance.
She probably did.
I'm sure.
Well, have a happy.
All right, you do good. Good to hear from you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Let's talk to Charles in Hayesville, North Carolina. What do you say, Charles?
How are you this morning?
I'm good, buddy. You all right?
I think I wanted to share a little humor with you.
All right, good.
During my childhood, I grew up in a small town in Central Florida.
Uh-huh.
And my close friend was a Baptist preacher's son.
Yeah.
And, of course, when he ran the Baptist church there, he joined the church on Sunday morning and he got baptized that night.
Yeah.
And actually in the afternoon, sometime with the baptistry full of water.
Right.
And so we would go out and catch cats.
Mm-hmm.
On the street and bring cats in and baptize them. A number of cats have been baptized.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and another thing we would do on Sunday afternoon, and this was particularly cruel in the winter time. Somebody joined the church on Sunday morning and go get baptized.
Uh-huh.
So they turn the water heater on. So make the water a little more comfortable in the baptistry.
little warmer water, yeah.
But we'd go turn it off. And these people would get ready to go to get baptized during the mirth.
Uh-huh.
Sunday night, they'd be freezing to death.
Bad little boy.
That taught me a lesson as a young
Bad little boys. Bad little boys. But you had a lot of fun.
Had a lot of fun. Enjoy your show. You're a delightful thing on radio.
Bless your heart. I appreciate it very, very much. You come see us when you can, Charles.
We'll do it.
Talk to you now.
Have a good day.
1-800-572-8255. Going to do it again, gang. Another Fun Seekers Network worldwide adventure. We're going to leave out of here on June 20th with a lot of smiling folks, and we're going to fly nonstop from Atlanta to London. We're going to take a panoramic tour of that great city, then we're going to head for Dover. Little our gang there. Let's talk to we got a man here been out of pocket for a little while, and we need to talk to him. And he's kind of strange, but he's one of us. No, we're coming back to the strange guy, right? Now we're going to talk to Gene, the tennis machine. He's a little strange too. Hello, Gene.
I'm a little strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm getting along okay. You doing okay today?
Doing good, buddy, and I hope you are.
Yeah, doing fine. I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, but I was fortunate to have parents, or my mother came from rural Missouri, and we used to go out to my grandma's farm all the time growing up. So I had that growing up. It was just terrific to be able to go there, and that's why I probably enjoy living in the South so much, because of the people out there remind me so much of the Southland people, the people since we've lived here.
Yeah, yeah.
And but one thing my uncle would do, and this was kind of unique. He would put his electric fence between his cornfield and his pig pen. And then he'd grow the corn, and then when it was big enough, pigs are pretty smart. They'll only eat as much as they need. He would cut that fence and then allow them to just go in and get their own corn when they needed it.
Clean up his cornfield at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
And when that was first cut, we would go on and play safari, and we would chase those pigs around in there.
What fun. What fun.
I mean, it would be a hot summer day, Ludlow, and me and my brothers would be down there just, chasing, and sometimes the pigs chased us, and gosh, you talk about having guardian angels looking over you.
Getting on down the road, that's fun.
So, and we would do that for hours and hours. And there's many other things that we do out there on that farm it was just great being able to do that on the weekends.
It was like a great big playground for the city kids.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It was just terrific. So anyway,
well,
I just thought I'd share that.
It might be a good afternoon to get back on the tennis court.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I'm going to have to do that. Maybe I'll get old Bob Lozier out there and knock him around a little bit.
I'll be talking to him in the next few days. I'll challenge him in your behalf.
Thank you.
All right, buddy.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Hey, gang, it's the Blue Willow Inn. What's on your mind?
How you been?
Been good. How you been?
Well, about the same.
Well, that's a shame.
I've been good, I mean.
Oh, good. That's good.
Not the same.
That's
I've
good.
been good.
Okay.
Are you trying to confuse me?
No. Somebody beat me to that.
Long ago and far away. Have you ever played holes with marbles?
Played holes with marbles.
Yeah.
Describe the game, and let me see if I remember it.
Well, we would dig holes that the marble would fit in, kind of like golf, And it'd be like in a pattern, sort of.
Yeah.
And you would shoot the marble and try to get it to go in the hole. And then you move to the next hole.
Yeah, I've done that, yeah.
You stick your thumb in the hole and span with your fingers, span around the hole to get up to where you shoot from.
Oh, okay.
One of our teachers brought that to us, I don't know, it's been 3 or 4 years ago now.
Sounds like a non-electric pinball machine.
I think what it was to keep you from taking each other's marbles,
Yeah.
Keep from playing for keeps.
It was a trick.
Yeah, and we didn't realize that till a lot later.
Yeah.
So nobody's gaining or losing here.
I've got all the marbles I came with. That's not natural.
Just about broke even.
Yeah.
Unless you just, really fired one off down in the woods or something. But that didn't happen too often. School was right there by the road, so we didn't,
Yeah. Did they let you play marbles at school?
Oh, yeah.
We could too, but we couldn't keep them. They would tell us over and over, you can't. Of course, we lied and kept them, but they didn't know it.
What you do is put them in your pocket.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah, I got you one of those little pouches or whatever. a cigar box that you can't hide. That's hard to hide. No, but nobody's going to count them, and you soon figured that out.
Oh, yeah. Or would tell anyway.
Yeah.
They'd be too ashamed. I said, no, that's not mine. I didn't lose that, no. There was a big bank behind the school, too. And it was just graded off, on any trees. Well, there's trees around it, but it was just slick down through there.
Right.
They'd take slabs, and there was a sawmill down there behind the school. You get slabs off of that and slide down the bank. Man, it was steep. Seemed like you'd be going about, 115, 20 miles an hour at the bottom.
Yeah.
Hauling.
And most of the time, the slab stopped before you did.
And they were pointed on the end, sort of. You know how it is when the bark's off of them.
Yeah.
It's rounded at the bottom and flat on the top of it.
Yeah.
And they'd be pointed at the end sometimes, and boy, it hurt that thing hit you. If there's somebody coming down by you and you stop down there, stick up in your back.
Sound like just a great way to wind up in a wheelchair.
Well, that's possible, yeah.
It is possible.
The EMTs loved it. Kept them busy.
All right, my man. You have a great one.
What's the next holiday? I was trying to think.
The next holiday, let's see, what's the next holiday, Denny? 4th of July? Valentine's Day, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope you get a lot of candy then.
Well, I certainly need some.
Oh, wait a minute.
You take care of yourself.
There's no use in wasting this. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. I'll talk to you.
See you later.
Bye-bye, buddy. Told you he was strange. I shouldn't have to say that. Just listen. You can pick out the strange ones. Diddy will put on the screen. Strange. Then I'm prepared. Got to gird my loins, because you never know. I got a strange letter this morning. Whew. Ooh. A lot of folks out there hate everybody on the planet. Yeah. Don't just blame John Rocker. You can go door to door and find yourself. Ooh. 1-800-570, and they're walking around and they got driver's license and they're voting. Strange. Ludlow and Denny, more conversation.
Mama told me when I was young, sit beside me, my only son.
All right, let's go to Rome, Georgia. Talk to the Candy Man. Hello, big boy.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Doing just great.
Good.
The gentleman called earlier about the wagon with the tube of six down the center and all. When I was a young lad, I thought I was a Richard Petty or Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
So I built me one like that and my father was a paint contractor, so I had plenty of paint. So I built me one a box on the top of the thing.
Oh boy. High class one.
Right. Had it all painted up with holes drilled through it with a rope, going through there where I could guide it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I didn't think about was the seatbelt.
Yeah. you were ahead of your time.
Right. I started down the hill, and actually one of the front wheels hit a rock, and it pulled it around underneath that thing, and I think I went further tumbling than I did on the four wheels.
Oh, when you look back on that, it could have broke every bone in your body.
I think it did.
Yeah.
Or it felt like it did at the time.
Oh, that's funny.
But anyway, I wanted to make y'all's year and get mine in early. So.
I'm glad you did.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Stay in touch, big guy.
Bye-bye.
1-800-572-8255, Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to talk to the preacher. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, sir.
How you doing?
Fine. The lady who was reminiscing a while ago about people not liking their houses and all that brought up a story I must share with you. I was transferred from a city church out to, if you lived in the city, you would say it was a rural church. If you lived out in the country, you'd say it was a good old country church.
Yeah, right.
So I got there the first day and was being shown around by the guy kind of looked after the place and everything on. So went up to him and I said, well, I've seen everything. I said, I need to get a key to the door. He said, what for? And I said, so when I come down here, to work and everything, I can open the door and go in and out and all this kind of stuff. And he said, man, we ain't locked this church in 50 years. You know, said there was a time that the escaped convict come through and slept in it one night, you know, and traveling families every once in a while stopped by. I said, but we ain't never locked this church, you know. And so anyways, I said, well, okay, fine, you know. So we went on, and so now we built a new building, and we've had to start locking the church because we have a lot of expensive sound equipment and copyright anyway. So we have had the most complaints from the people. Why is the church locked? You know, we ain't locked it in 50 years.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Well, we've already cut about 25 or 30 keys for you know, so it might as well not be locked. I mean, you know, but see, I guess the criminals are the only ones that don't have a key.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's funny. 50 years, never been locked, nothing ever stolen. Why do you want a key?
Yeah, why you need a key? You know what I mean? Why you need to lock it? You know what I mean? You know, why mess with progress?
Well, see, but as a preacher, you knew your job was going to be easier when you got there.
Yeah. I mean, you know, that was just a given. If you preach the kind of sermon you're supposed to preach, why nobody going to steal anything from the church? You know?
I love it. I love it.
I thought you'd enjoy that today.
Good call.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care, buddy. Bye-bye. Let's talk to my friend Evelyn on the radio. Hello, Evelyn.
Hello, my dear.
How you doing?
I'm doing fine, except I'm fighting laryngitis.
Oh.
And I won't have time to say all the things I want to say. I'll have to save till Friday.
All right.
But since I don't have time to do that, can I break away from the subject for one moment?
Yeah, sure.
I got a wonderful trivia for you.
All right.
I heard it from Bill Drake, of course.
All right.
Do you know what Gilligan's first name was?
Getting on Gilligan's Island, you mean? No, I don't.
You want me to go ahead and tell you?
Yeah, tell me.
Willie.
Willie.
Yeah, he said it was only used about 4 times during the whole series.
It kind of fits, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Willie Gilligan.
Great trivia question.
I got real great stuff. I'll save it for Friday.
All right, we'll look forward to hearing from you on Friday then.
Okay, dear.
You take care of yourself.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right, listen, we are a good show today. I have enjoyed it, and you have been a big part of it. We appreciate it. We need to get out of here now and make room for your more than wonderful radio station. Just stay wrapped up today now. You look out the window and you see that sunshine. It is still pretty chilly out there, so throw a jacket on the back seat of the car. We're going to see you first thing in the morning, same time on your same wonderful station. Between now and then, you do me a favor. Whatever else you do today, you find somebody to be nice to.
Life is just a tire swing. In the early morning on some Illinois road, I fell asleep at the wheel, but was quickly wakened up by a mall bell telephone pole and a bunch of grandwood faces screaming, is he still alive? Through the window I could see it hanging from a tree, and I knew that I had survived, and life is still a tire swing. Jambalaya is the best song I can sing. Blackberry picking, eating fried chicken, but I finally learned a lot about pain. Life is just a tire swing. Tire swing. Life is just a tire swing. Tire swing. Life is just a tire swing.
Ludlow again. Just can't wait to hear Ludlow again. The life I love is here in Ludlow with my friends, and I can't wait to hear Ludlow again. Ludlow again. Just can't wait to hear Ludlow again. The life I love is here in Ludlow with my friends, and I can't wait to hear Ludlow again. Ludlow again. That band of wackos goes out on the airwaves. They're the best of friends, insisting that the only way is the fair way. And that's why I say Ludlow again. Just can't wait to hear Ludlow again. The life I love is here in Ludlow with my friends, and I can't wait to hear